Hey guys, this is Damien with SauceBoss Gaming, and today we're going to talk about 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. Now, right off the bat, this game kind of went under the radar for me back when it did come out. I'm reviewing it today because I've had a lot of fun with it, and I just wanted to share this with you guys so that way you don't miss out. Now, right off the bat, this is a RPG style game with a very deep story. The way that they approach it is pretty unique in my opinion. The story is about 13 characters who come from different parts of time. I'm not going to go too much into it because it's going to spoil it, but 13 different characters, they come from different parts of time, and they use Sentinels, these futuristic robots, to fight these kaiju called the Daimos. And the game will tell you more about what the Daimos are, where they came from, all that stuff, why you have no clothes on when you're in a robot, why you have a robot, just all your questions will be answered when you play this game. Like I said, it has RPG elements. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But first off, a little bit more on the story. Like I said, this game takes place somewhat in different parts of time. There's a lot of talk of these creatures called the Daimos or the D-Forces, which again are giant robots that have come to annihilate you, Terminator style. And so your 13 main characters are tasked with finding a way to stop this Daimos invasion. And the way this plays out is pretty unique, again, in my opinion. You have 13 main characters. There's no one character that holds precedent over the others. You have to play through all of the character stories to really make sense of the story. What's cool is you could have one version of a character, in this instance Shu, have a scenario, and then if you play it as another character from the main cast, you get a different perspective from those interactions. Another cool thing is this is a branching story. So from what I noticed, you will get to see everything through one playthrough. There is a lot of jumping around. But like I said, the game does a good job of giving you tools to make sense of everything. If you're not into 2D style games, this might not be for you as far as viewing the story. But personally, I think they did a good job with it, with the animations and just making it look cool. It kind of reminded me of some of the old retro DS games or Game Boy Advance games that had the 2D models that move in like CG. But overall, it's really cool. When you play through the story, you have these little inside your head moments where you could choose how you want to respond to people or get more information about what's going on. And depending on how you respond to people or use these bubbles, gives you access to all these different branches of the story. So it is very, very deep and just worthwhile. You'll spend a lot of time learning the ins and outs of what's going on with these 13 characters, and just the ending is very satisfying. I don't want to say too much because it will spoil the game, but yeah, it's very satisfying at the end, even though there's a lot of story elements. The other cool thing, just to throw it out there, if you're not a fan of reading all this stuff, you can fast forward through certain sections if you've played through another scenario or something like that. So very, very solid story in my opinion. Now, moving on to the RPG aspects, you do have moments where you use the giant robots to fight. There are 13 characters, and that means there's 13 characters that you'll use to customize and fight when you get to the actual battle segments. The cool thing about this game is, like, for every character, there's a bunch of customizable options. That's why we're fast forwarding through this part, but you can see there's a lot to customize. And as far as battle itself, it works off of a top-down turn-based system. The cool thing is this is real-time, so it's not like the old Final Fantasy games or Pokemon where you just sit, wait for the enemy to do what they're going to do, and then you make your move. It's all real time. So even when you're selecting your moves, everything else is still going. It's just time is slowed down a lot, so you have time to make your decision. But at the same time, sorry, no pun intended. At the same time, when you're making these selections, you know, you have to be mindful of everything that's about to happen, because there are extra, you know, victory and loss conditions for when you play. So for those of you who've played like Advance Wars and things like that, Fire Emblem, there's a lot to pay attention to when you're in battle. Now, overall, the thing that makes this game special is you don't have to stick to one section of the game. You do have your main story, but you can't just rush through the story, because at some point you're going to have to battle, and vice versa. If you just go to the battles, there's going to be a point where you have to stop because there's something you need to see in the story to progress the fights, since there's a lot of time travel elements involved. The last little part to this is, if you ever get confused, you can go to the mystery files, which gives you a little bit more background on what's going on. Like I said, there's a lot of time travel elements, so it gets kind of confusing, but if you use the event archive and stuff like that, like with the mystery files, it helps you get a good background, which gives you more investment in the fights when you do them. Because I know for me, at first, I just thought, okay, cool, Gundam mechs, go in, shoot all these missiles and just destroy everything. But when you have more context to the story, it really does take this game to another level. And as I mentioned before, everything is cohesive. Your characters are going to get stronger the more points you get. The meta chips, as you can see, and one of the other screens, you get meta chips by playing through the story and also doing the fights. So it's two ways to kind of grind that out. You learn more and get more investment in the characters by playing the story, which also gives you meta chips to power you up. Or you can go in and grind early levels and power up that way. But like I said before, there's going to be a stopping point. So it all goes together so well. As far as the fights, everything is real-time turn-based. So even when you're picking your moves, you have things going on in super slow motion. And it's cool to me because you never really stop the action. Everything keeps going, kind of like Final Fantasy VIII, for those of you who've ever played that. It gives you that sense of urgency every single time you have to make a move. So there's a lot going for this game. I've seen it a lot as far as one of the discounted games on the PlayStation Store. So if you ever get a chance to pick this up, please do yourself a favor, pick it up. This game might not be for everybody, but in general, if you enjoy, you know, Gundam Wing, turn-based games, things like that, then this game is for you. The story is solid, the gameplay is solid. There's lots of systems to get into, especially if you're into strategy. And personally, I don't think the game will disappoint. You might have to play it in short sit downs, but other than that, I mean, it's a solid game. So again, has the seal of approval. If you get the chance, pick this up. More than likely, you will not be disappointed. Other than that, guys, this is Damien with SauceBoss Gaming. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.